The boys needed that one. Canucks coming into this game 2-5 against the Sens, who are 1-3-1. Canucks trying to avoid their second 3-game losing streak in 8 games, and they did. Oh boy, they did. So, starting this game, we had Thatcher Demko in net for the Canucks, who has not won a game yet this year, 0-3, with an .866 and a .547 goals against average, up against Matt Murray, who hasn't been much better. 1-2-1, .880 save percentage, 3.79 goals against average. And my storyline coming into this game was Brock Besser, Matt Murray, round 5. And Besser has 6 goals in 4 games against Matt Murray. Didn't score in this one, but that's okay. Also, the return of Eric Goodbranson. He wasn't great, because he's Eric Goodbranson. Canucks lineup coming into this one is normal. McEwen is still in for Gaudette. He had a fine game tonight as well. To start this game, Tanner Pearson takes a penalty about 3 minutes in, and the penalty kill was really good. They didn't allow anything from Ottawa, and that kind of set the tone for the game, I think. I also had a note a few minutes later that the Canucks just look really refreshed. They have a lot of zone control, and they're really just controlling play in the offensive zone. 10:29, Sutter scores his second of the season. Edler had a long shot from the point, bad rebound. Goodbranson knocked Sutter over, and as Sutter was falling down, sort of chopped it in with the backhand over the shoulder of Murray to make it 1-0 Vancouver. Eric Goodbranson watch, -1 so far, and I think he ended -1, so, he wasn't that bad. 5 minutes later, Tyler Mott scores his third of the season. Stole the puck from Shabbat. Shabbat sort of found on his pass. Tyler Mott took that away. Played it behind the net to Jay Beagle. Cycled around, came out in front for the pass in front, and he scored. Great goal there. So 2-0 Canucks. That is their first 2-goal lead since opening night. So in about 2 weeks, when they beat Edmonton on opening night. 3 minutes later, Chris Tierney had a little bit of a breakaway there, hit the crossbar on Thatcher Demko. And then another 2 minutes later, with 30 seconds to go in the first period, Connor Brown had a bit of a breakaway as well, but Demko stopped him with the pad. So after the first period, 2-0 Vancouver, shots are 12-10. Goodbranson led the Senators in time on ice in the first period. Not sure if that was the case for the whole game, but definitely it was in the first period. Going into the second period, Canucks get a power play 4 minutes in. Wolainen took a cross-checking penalty on Hoglander, kind of cross-checked him right in the neck, in the back of the neck. Power play 1 stayed out there for the entire 2 minutes, and that was fun to see. Failed to score, but it was a really good shift. Roussel took a penalty that got killed off. Senators get their first of the game with 8 minutes to go in the second period. A long Shabbat shot from the point. Austin Watson tipped it up. Hit Demko right in the forehead, popped up, landed behind him and went in. That would be Ottawa's only goal of this one. Sort of a bad giveaway by Tyler Myers on that one, but let's not focus on the negatives too much after a 7-1 win. 30 seconds later, Canucks answer. Hoglander and Pearson on a bit of a 2-on-1. Hoglander dives at the puck, sweeps it over to Tanner Pearson, who buries it on Matt Murray. Great answer, 3-1 Canucks. Later in the third period, Demko took a slashing penalty on the back check. Thatcher Demko, Miller slashing penalty on the back check. Thatcher Demko with an outstanding save on Anisimov. Puck goes the other way. Brandon Sutter just takes it, rips it over the blocker of Murray, top corner to make it 4-1. Nice little shorty. That's Sutter's third of the year, second of the game. Shots in the second period, 14-9 for Ottawa, but most of them were to the outside. There wasn't a ton that were like, oh man, Demko really had to stay on his head there. It was similar sort of to last year when the Canucks would allow a lot of shots and Markey would stand on his head, but it was like, all right, they weren't like super high percentage chances, but still good to see those saves being made. In the third period, Miller takes another penalty for interference here. Ottawa couldn't score. Looked like Demko tweaked something. I think Connor Brown fell on him. Demko was fine. He finished the game. Not a lot else happened in the third period. Roussel and Josh Brown got a little bit tied up with a fight. Refs ended up giving him 2 minutes each because it was such a lame fight. 2 minutes later, 7:48 to go in the third period, Tanner Pearson feeds Horvat for the one-timer. Horvat rips it off the post and off the other post, and then the rebound falls right in front of Murray. Quinn Hughes jams it home to make it 5-1. That's Hughes' first goal in almost a year. Last time he scored was that OT winner, or maybe it was OT? I don't remember. Against the Islanders, either way. It's been a while for him, so good to see him get one. Another fight a minute later, Zach McEwen, Austin Watson, kind of weak on that one as well. Sens got a power play off that one, and then they lost that power play just 30 seconds later. After that, flip the page. Olli Juolevi gets the first goal of his NHL career with about 4 minutes to go in the third period to make it 6-1. Horvat won the draw back to him. He just took a shot, went 5-hole on Murray. Matt Murray didn't have a great night. And then with 53.9 seconds to go, Brandon Sutter gets sprung on a breakaway and sort of drives in on, I don't know who the defense on the D-man was. It might have been Shabbat, but he sort of dug the shoulder and cut across, beat Matt Murray on the forehand for his first career hat trick in like 700 and something games to make it 7-1. 22 seconds left. Austin Watson and Roussel also had a scrap. So definitely the heat level rising. Sens were frustrated in this one. And, hopefully we see some more of that fire throughout the rest of the series. So what we're going to do for this one, I'm kind of changing up my format here. Normally I would do the recap and then my thoughts. I've separated my thoughts because I'm a lot more organized now. I got my pluses and my minuses. Another great play on words by me, because plus minus... Thank you. Pluses for this game. We'll start with the positives because they played great. The bottom six was really good. Brandon Sutter had the game of his life. Tyler Mott was flying out there. Tyler Mott's so good. A lot fewer egregious giveaways. The sort of the storyline of the last few games has been the Canucks giving the puck up to, the Habs players or the Flames players or the Oilers players, and just giving them 2-on-1s, breakaways, and that's been what's killing the team. A lot less of those. A couple late in the first period. Sens had 2 breakaways there late in the first, but Demko kept them both out. Crossbar kept one of them out as well. Matt Murray's rebound control is a plus for the Canucks. He could not hold on to the puck. It would hit him in the chest, and it would just drop in front of him. He had a couple off the shoulder. There were some that you'd think he would steer to the corner, but they ended up right in front of the net. So another just poor game from Murray. His save percentage probably dropping down to like an 860, 850 on the year after this one. Nils Höglander has some wheels. He really demonstrated that again on the play to Pearson. He had another play, I think, in the first period where he just sort of drove down the ice, and he just looked really good. He's got some quick feet. And the last plus for me is Thatcher Demko. Again, like I said, not a ton of grade A chances, although there were a few that he did save. The big things were just the shots from the outside that he kept out. Canucks defense did a good job of, while they allowed something like 34 shots or whatever it was, most of them were to the outside. Demko could see him all the way and made the stops. Likely we'll see a split Wednesday, Thursday again, him and Holtby with the back-to-back. So it doesn't really mean too much for the starter's job unless he plays well on... I'm going to guess he'll get the Thursday game, but we'll see what the Sens do as well with their lineup. Some of the minuses for this game. Virtanen, I think he played fine, but he wasn't able to control the puck very well. There were a few plays where I think it's happened 4 times in the first 25 minutes of the game where the puck would come to him and it would hit his stick right on the tape and it would sort of bounce off and then it would get taken away by Ottawa. So he just needs to maybe loosen the grip a little bit on the stick. While I just mentioned that the Canucks didn't give up a lot of grade A chances, it's still too many shots given up. And I think they lead the league in shots allowed per game, something like 37. So 34 shots or whatever it was, I didn't actually check after the game. But however many shots they allowed in this one, still too many. JT Miller looked really frustrated, and he made it known that he was frustrated. Took a couple of penalties. He had that door slam where you could hear a certain curse word coming out of JT Miller's mouth when he slammed the door coming to the bench. And Brock Besser didn't score on his nemesis, Matt Murray. So now he's down to 6 goals in 5 games. Hopefully he's able to turn that around in whatever game Murray gets on the Wednesday or the Thursday. Game pucks for this one. For Vancouver, it's Brandon Sutter. Didn't know if I'd be giving out a game puck to Brandon Sutter this year, but here we are, 8 games in, and he got a hat trick. Honorable mention to this one, again, Thatcher Demko. Not like he had an outstanding game, but just being a solid presence back there especially after the start they've had, where they've been, allowing the most goals in the NHL so far this year. Nice to see just a solid performance, sort of get right back on track there. I didn't write one down for Ottawa, and no one really stood out for me, to be honest. Obviously Murray wasn't good. The only other noticeable players were guys like Shabbat, who I don't think had a great game. So you lose 7-1. I'm sorry, you don't get a game puck. Next game for the Canucks, Wednesday night at 5 p.m. against these Senators. They also play Thursday night at 7. I've got a video coming out tomorrow detailing Jim Benning's tenure with the Canucks, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Also, let's fire up the Discord. Big win. Discord link is in the description, so if you want to come hang out, chat with me in our Discord chat for the season, be sure to come join and say hi. Other than that, that's all I have for you today. Be sure to stick around. Again, like I said, video on Jim Benning's tenure tomorrow. Post-game recaps, of course, after Wednesday and Thursday's game. Just like always, have a good one, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.